watching the News Hour at 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, the overall corona count has breached the 56,000 mark, and it's time that 44 days have elapsed since the national lockdown on the 24th of March. And this is the time when we've seen our lives probably changing forever. Amidst an unprecedented crisis, it is very, very important for us to know the pulse of the people, which is why Times Now, in collaboration with Ormax Media, conducted a special survey to assess what people of 6 big metropolitan cities feel about the government's policy and the strategy in battling COVID-19. A total of 600 samples were given an online survey, and a 7-point scale was used, and a net percentage score out of 100 was taken, and the results are interesting to say the least. So let's just begin straight away with the first finding that comes up. Look at the Chief Minister. Delhi, governed by Arvind Kejriwal, gets 65% votes. It's a huge thumbs up to the way Arvind Kejriwal has come out and managed the situation in Delhi, and that's got a big thumbs up, 65% approval rating from residents of Delhi. Bengaluru is the next city which is given the maximum numbers for B.S. Yediyurappa and his handling of the COVID situation in Bengaluru. Of course, the numbers are very low in Bengaluru, and that's why probably the government has been given this thumbs up, with just 169 positive cases in Bengaluru and around 1,000 odd cases in the state of Karnataka. Next comes KCR, who is the Chief Minister of Telangana. He gets a 49% rating as far as his popularity is concerned, and his strategy as well as his response to COVID-19 battle is concerned. 49% going to Hyderabad, and that's how Telangana people have voted for KCR. Then comes Chennai, and this is 40% rating given to Edapati Palanisamy, who is the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, with a 40% rating going to Chennai, which has had problems in the last 4 days, but 4 or 5 days, but overall the handling has been good. That's what residents of Chennai feel. It's Mumbai, that's the problem area. Uddhav Thackeray, 35%, on number 5 among the metros, and Uddhav Thackeray, 35. Mumbai is the challenge. It's also a challenge that Maharashtra numbers are going up close to the region of 19,000. Mumbai alone having around 12,000 cases, positive COVID cases, and Dharavi, the biggest nightmare, because the population per square kilometer here is over 2 lakh people, and social distancing can be forgotten about in Dharavi. But ladies and gentlemen, it's this state of West Bengal where Kolkata has voted for Mamata Banerjee, giving her only 6% approval rating. And this could be a crucial number given the fact that this is the state that goes to polls in 2021. The fact is that West Bengal is getting these numbers because probably people don't believe the numbers that have been put out by the Trinamool Congress government in West Bengal. Is that the reason why Mamata Banerjee is at the bottom of the ladder as far as this popularity poll is concerned? So Arvind Kejriwal number 1, B.S. Yediyurappa number 2, KCR number 3, Edapati Palanisamy number 4, Uddhav Thackeray number 5, but Mamata Banerjee is at the bottom of this stack as far as Chief Minister's approval rating is concerned. And let me go across to our guests joining me this evening before I come to the Prime Minister's numbers, because hold your breath, ladies and gentlemen, I will come to that number, but I want to get a first comment in from Raghav Chadha of the Aam Aadmi Party, MLA. Raghav Chadha, it's a huge thumbs up that has come for Mr. Arvind Kejriwal and his handling of the COVID-19 situation. What do you think is the reason why Arvind Kejriwal has won the people's confidence?
Well, first of all, Navika, thank you so much. These numbers will certainly act as a morale booster for the entire government, which is being run under the able leadership of Shri Arvind Kejriwal, and certainly as a morale booster for the medical staff, the doctors, the nurses, the paramedics who are working in Delhi government-run hospitals. Well, I think Delhi was, and as you are well aware, the worst hit state initially. It was the epicenter of this COVID-19 as far as India is concerned, simply because it's the capital which has a lot of influx of international travelers, as well as the center of the Markaz controversy, the event, was also Delhi. So we were the worst hit state. However, under the able leadership of Mr. Kejriwal, we followed a very meticulous and a comprehensive plan, which was summarized by Mr. Kejriwal himself, which essentially comprises of 5 T's, which involved testing, tracing, treatment, teamwork, as well as tracking and monitoring. And under these 5 T's, and under this plan, the government of Delhi has, managed to deal with this outbreak in quite an able manner. However, we have lost 65 precious lives in Delhi until now. The mortality rate of the city of Delhi, as far as this epidemic is concerned, is among the lowest. I mean, if I was just going through the figures before getting onto this show, where if you look at Maharashtra, we've had more than 651 deaths. In Gujarat, we've had 396 deaths. In Madhya Pradesh, we had 185 deaths. And Delhi, despite having roughly 5,500 cases, the number of deaths have only been 65. And we hope that going forward, we will bring this number further down and ensure that we do not lose any more lives going forward. The entire focus of the Chief Minister, and I can say this with full responsibility and authority at my command, that the focus of the Chief Minister is only on reducing the number of deaths. We do not wish to lose even a single life in Delhi.
Well,
even if this epidemic has spread,
Raghav Chadha, but one thing that kept coming back from the respondents, because there are questions that were given to them, one thing that kept coming back from them is the fact that Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, who has been seen to be at loggerheads with the BJP at the center, has in this period at least put his differences aside, put his politics aside. He's matured as a leader, and his statements where he said that if it comes to saving lives in Delhi, I will go and touch anybody's feet. You know, that's something that one of the respondents has quoted.
That's because his heart beats for the people of Delhi. His heart beats for the people of this country. And despite having a million ideological differences with the Bharatiya Janata Party and its kind of politics, we have worked together with the central government, with the Lieutenant Governor, with the Health Minister of the Government of India, as well as with the Delhi Police. Because, these are times of an emergency, and where I think every agency of the state needs to work together as a team. And I think, and I'm very happy to say that at least the administration of Delhi has worked as a team. Delhi is not a very easy state to govern, as you know this. I mean,
well said,
the constitutional scheme
and I think that maturity is being appreciated by people. And Raghav Chadha, it's a long battle. We don't know the end date of when this battle is really going to come to an end. But at the moment, I think the popularity of Arvind Kejriwal at 65% could have been higher, I think, from some of the responses, if the Markaz event hadn't really happened. And that could be a little reason for this being in the 65% region. It could have been higher. But now let's turn to the big numbers that we are looking at for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's look at the Prime Minister's COVID rating in the metros. The Prime Minister gets the biggest thumbs up from Delhi. 86% of the people in Delhi say that he's very good. His while Arvind Kejriwal is doing a great job as a chief minister, the Prime Minister gets a huge thumbs up from people of Delhi. And that's something that we've seen in election after election in the last twice that Delhi has gone to elections, that for national elections, the choice of the people is Modi as a central leader. But when it comes to Delhi, it's Kejriwal who is got the people's trust in Delhi, and that continues in the COVID battle as well. Delhi gives him the biggest thumbs up, and then comes Mumbai, which puts its trust in Prime Minister Modi. Let's look at the other. Hyderabad also gives a huge thumbs up to Prime Minister Modi. Kolkata again, where Mamata Banerjee gets a 6%, Prime Minister Modi gets 59%. So elections coming up in this state. Any guesses on what's going to really happen? Chennai, 51% thumbs up to Modi, and an average of 71% that we see overall voting for Prime Minister Modi. And that's how the metros are stacked as far as the popularity of Prime Minister Modi on the COVID response is concerned. Those are the numbers. Let's go to our next survey point. Likability of the Prime Minister in metros. And this is a percentile calculation that we put out. Look at the likability position of the Prime Minister. Mumbai 8.5%, Delhi 8.6%, Bengaluru 7.9%, Chennai 6.7%, Hyderabad 8.3%, Kolkata 7.4%, and an average of 7.9% out of 10. That's how likable Prime Minister Modi as a leader, as a national leader is to people in these metros. And we're seeing the COVID situation is worse off in metros than it is in the rural hinterland. Therefore, the votings that is coming from these 6 metros extremely important to gauge and mark really the response of chief ministers as well as the Prime Minister, based on the metro voting. Let's look at our next slide and look at how the personal approval ratings of the Prime Minister, which were at 7.1% in April of 2019, during general elections, that is during general elections when he came back with a huge mandate of 303 seats in the Lok Sabha, it's gone up to 7.9 in the COVID era. So people see him as a strong leader. His response to COVID has actually made him more popular than he was even in April 2019 at the peak of the elections, when he came back with a resounding majority and a resounding verdict from the people of India. His popularity has soared between April 2019 to May 2020 in the last 13 months. And that is because the way he's come out and taken charge of the fight back on COVID. Let's now look at the next graphic. The Prime Minister's COVID rating, 71% approval rating of the Prime Minister's handling of the COVID crisis. And that's the big thumbs up that Prime Minister Modi gets. And that's the way the metros are voting. And the metros are the worst affected areas that we are looking at in terms of the COVID spread. And if they're happy with Modi, then clearly Modi is doing something right. Let's take a look at the takeaways. Thumping approval of the Prime Minister Modi's COVID strategy. That's what this survey tells us. The Prime Minister's popularity in this crisis has soared past his 2019 mandate. 86% of Delhiites give him the nod for a national lockdown by the centre. Delhi's Chief Minister Kejriwal lauded for COVID action plan and the way he's delivered in terms of administration. Poor delivery of promises by Maharashtra Chief Minister Uddhav Thackeray, which is why he is fifth among the 6 chief ministers, and Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is the worst performing chief minister amidst the pandemic that has virtually put India in a very, very tight spot. And Mamata Banerjee's approval rating clearly is something that she'll have to worry about, given the fact that we have elections in West Bengal in 2021. Can she make a quick comeback? We'll have to wait and watch. So let me introduce my panel tonight. Gaurav Bhatia, National Spokesperson of the BJP, Dr. Anand Ranganathan, author, Mahesh Jethmalani, Senior Advocate, Anirban Banerjee, TMC supporter, MC Abbas, political analyst, and of course Raghav Chadda with us. Dr. Anand Ranganathan, to you first. How do you look at these ratings that have been given? Is that the general sense that you get? Is that a fact that, between Uddhav Thackeray and Mamata Banerjee, and the fact that there are red flags that have been raised by the central teams that have gone to West Bengal, actually have created a very low trust rate between the people of West Bengal and Mamata Banerjee?
Yeah, good evening. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think your survey is pretty spot on. But I think more than the Prime Minister, I think most of the Chief Ministers also should be congratulated. I think overall the work done has been brilliant. Arvind Kejriwal also has come up to the mark. He's done very well. I'm looking just at the mortality numbers. For a city of 25 million like Delhi, to have only 60 as the mortality number is actually really brilliant, very heartening. But can I just also say why your survey is bang on is that there is little doubt that West Bengal has disappointed in its conduct and actions during this lockdown. From constant bickering with the centre and other states, to detaining doctors who complained of mismanagement of resources, to hiding the number of COVID deaths, to not being able to control rampant lockdown violations in hotspot areas, it is as though Didi has been fighting a political battle and not an epidemic. Today, Navika, nurses at a Bengal district hospital have complained of not being given proper training on how to deal with COVID patients. Interministerial Central Team IMCT visiting West Bengal has questioned the state government appointed audit committee planning and decision. 8 healthcare professional associations in Bengal, including IMA, have written to the Chief Minister demanding more transparency on treatment, deaths and detection. Bengal has carried out 6 times less tests per million compared to the national average. And when some doctors complained of the mismanagement, the TMC MP countered by saying they don't even pay taxes. The Calcutta High Court has recently slammed Bengal police for taking action against a doctor who exposed shortage of protective gear. I'm afraid this is not the way to deal with an epidemic. But of course, this is Didi, not Modi. And so the Tollywood media is unconcerned and keeps churning subservient headlines.
Absolutely. And Anirban Banerjee, let me tell you, today there are 1,678 confirmed cases of COVID in West Bengal. Does anybody really believe these numbers? Because Odisha has complained that the border that it shares with the West Bengal is the reason why the rate of infection is going up in Odisha. And the problem is the testing facilities. 17 testing facility in the entire West Bengal. Total tests so far in 45 days are only 35,767. Samples tested in the last 24 hours are 3,000 odd. Tests per million are 397, and the mortality rate, and that's the worrying point. This is not about politics. The mortality rate, even in the lowest amount of numbers that West Bengal is displaying, is about 13.2%, which is way, way, way above the national average. In fact, 4 times the national average.
Right. So many things can be said about each and every point that you've brought up, but I'll start with the numbers that have been showed in your survey. I certainly agree to these numbers because I know that what the West Bengal administration has failed to realize is the power of the propaganda machinery, that the power that they have already have in place. In all these 6 metro cities, Kolkata is the only metro city, the state of West Bengal, which goes into elections next year. Rest of them, none of them go into elections in a very long time. Therefore, the entire focus of the propaganda machinery is completely on West Bengal rather than Kolkata. And that is the reason that the West Bengal government is shown in such poor light in this survey, because people have been swayed by this propaganda. There is no doubt about that. And whether the West Bengal government, the ruling dispensation, has been able to tackle that propaganda, the answer is no, they haven't. They have failed to tackle the propaganda because they could have come up with these numbers, what you are saying that they are fudging. They weren't fudging. They could have come up with it straight away they instead of doing that, what they did was divide the mortalities into COVID
Well,
and
hands are going up on the panel. Hands are going up on the panel. Gaurav Bhatia, propaganda is getting you where you are with Modi, and propaganda is getting Didi, because your propaganda is working, hers is not working, and therefore Didi is getting bad numbers only because of the propaganda of the BJP. Respond to Anirban.
That's right.
Okay, so Navika, I think what does the survey show? The survey clearly shows that if you have risen to the occasion, if you have thought about the country, if you thought about your state, your approval ratings are high. And if you got yourself into petty politics and could not understand the real meaning of cooperative federalism, your approval rating is low. And I think without an iota of doubt, Narendra Modi ji has risen as the guardian-in-chief of the entire country. The entire country has looked up to him. And I have no qualms in saying that Arvind Kejriwal's approval rating also is good for the reason that he understood it is about saving human lives rather than indulging in petty politics. And from the World Health Organization praising India for its effort, from Narendra Modi ji's timely decision of a lockdown when other countries were confused about it, the fact that Bill Gates come out and he praises Narendra Modi ji, the fact that our country is thinking about the poorest of the poor farmers and women, itself reflects the spirit of oneness. And I think today's survey is all about that spirit, that we are Indians first, and states who have indulged in petty politics, I think have been disapproved by the public.
Anirban Banerjee, I would just request you to leave out the rancor.
Navika, can
at
I
the
please
moment.
ask
We're
one
talking
question
about
to
people's
Anirban?
lives. Yes, Dr. Anand Ranganathan.
Yeah, Anirban, just one question. You know, you say the approval ratings are bad because of this propaganda against Mamata Di. Are you saying that 8 medical associations in Bengal, including the Indian Medical Association, that have blasted the way Bengal has been conducting itself during COVID, are also part of the propaganda? Yes or no?
No, absolutely not. First of all, they did not blast. They offered their suggestions. Each and every of those suggestions were considered, and whichever were practical and applicable in present scenario, they have been applied. The results are in front of you. The recovery rate in Bengal are among the highest in India. Are you talking about that?
I can read to you the text. Anirban, please.
That is the reason we will never talk about the recovery rate in West Bengal. As simple as that.
Well, the red flags were raised. Low rate of testing were mentioned by the Union Home Secretary. The Union Home Secretary wrote letters saying reflects poor surveillance, detection and testing in the state. This is because there are citizens of India living there, not only Bengal citizens but citizens of India living there. But let me also get Maharashtra, which is also in the middle of this entire issue. And let's look at the numbers of infections in Maharashtra. Just in Mumbai alone, and Mahesh Jethmalani, I want to ask you this. In Mumbai, which controls 41% of the business head offices, 41% of India's business headquarters are in Mumbai. It controls 18% of India's GDP from Mumbai. That's the state that is today looking so vulnerable that we have 12,000 out of the 19,000 odd cases in Maharashtra coming from Mumbai alone. Isn't that something that's telling us a story about how we're just not prepared to deal with this crisis?
Well, Navika, I mean, while those figures are alarming, and of course Maharashtra stands out as being, the biggest provider of infections and the highest death rates in the country, and Bombay in particular, we also have to understand that the really hotspots in Bombay are the overcrowded areas, the slum areas, but like Dharavi, etc. This is where it is becoming absolutely widespread. And of course, administration should have foreseen this and taken adequate measures. There has been a few lapses from the Maharashtra government. Even just a couple of days, they opened the liquor stores. Now, of course, they need the revenue, and that step many states were demanding and did in fact go in for it, including Delhi. The Union Territory, the state of Delhi also did it. But they could have certainly ensured in Maharashtra. I mean, it was shocking to see people almost within touching distance of each other. They should have anticipated that there would be a large crowd coming over there and people would be, falling over each other to get ahead. And they should have enforced some discipline to make sure there was adequate social distancing. So, of course, there have been administrative lapses. But on the other hand, one must say that, if you take a comparison, I think Bombay in particular and Maharashtra also have the highest testing rate in the whole country. West Bengal certainly has the lowest, there's no doubt about it. The medical associations there and the center have both pointed this out. But to be fair to Maharashtra, we also have the highest testing rate in the whole country. So perhaps that could be one of the reasons as to why the figures show an alarming rise.
But the fact is the administration, because isn't that what differentiates leaders? How strictly you enforce your lockdown. Have you got quarantine centers where people from Dharavi can be taken? After all, yes, we know that the per square kilometer population of Dharavi is way above the national average. It's about 2 lakh, compared to a national average of somewhat about 7 or 8. But the fact of the matter is, Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani, and let me get in MC Abbas as well. MC Abbas, the fact of the matter is, you open liquor shops, you don't have a plan, in action. And let me just show you the visuals of the Sion Hospital. The Sion Hospital, which has been a video that has been going viral. What explains that? What explains the fact that dead bodies are lying next to COVID patients? How do you expect to resolve or fight against COVID-19 if that is going to be the situation in your hospitals in Maharashtra? Now, who do you blame for that? And this is the capital of Maharashtra in Mumbai itself.
Navika ji, since you first mentioned about Dharavi, Operation Dharavi has been a huge roaring success with over 1,000-bed facility, along with that 25 doctors 24/7, along with that 2,000 volunteers working round the clock has hit the success rate. And like Mr. Mahesh Jethmalani said, I reiterate the point that Maharashtra is the only state in India by far with the highest testing, most aggressive number. Also, as a matter of fact, the Sion Hospital, what has happened there certainly needs to be an investigation. Also, let me put to you a fact that Maharashtra and Kolkata have been miraculously, West Bengal and Maharashtra has been on target from the Bharatiya Janata Party propaganda mission. There is a Bharatiya Janata Party's dirty tricks department which wants to target Maharashtra, Uddhav Thackeray Mahagadi government and Mamata Banerjee for the same sake. Modi ji says it's time to unite, but your own party, Modi ji, divides. So which pehlu, kaun sa pehlu le hum, Modi ji? Isn't it time the federal structure comes together, unifying in one force? Or do you want to disseminate the states and then pick and choose your BJP states? My
MC Abbas, numbers don't lie, and let me get in Raghav Chadda on this. Raghav Chadda, is propaganda the only reason why we are looking at Maharashtra and West Bengal as worry areas? This is not about scoring points. This is about being aware of what the problems are and how to deal with them in the best possible way. If there was a propaganda, then I think there have been most acerbic fights that have gone on between the BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party. So would propaganda actually hit you also as well?
No, propaganda has hit us on a number of occasions in the past. But all I wish to say is that the chief ministers of these respective states are the commanders in chief of that respective territory, and we should trust them. We should work closely with them. And I personally have been, extremely happy with the performance of Shri Uddhav Thackeray as Chief Minister of Maharashtra. We weren't expecting that sort of administrative skills from him initially when he got into office. But yes, the numbers that are coming out of Maharashtra are deeply worrying, very disappointing. And as the spokesperson of the Maharashtra government says that, they are doing a lot of testing, I would like to also buttress on the point that the government of Delhi is, tops the charts when it comes to testing. The per million testing in Delhi is at about 2,400. We are testing 2,400 people per million, which is the highest in the country. So, I personally feel that is the way. May I just finish? May I just finish? That is the way to go. And you also, Navika, at the outset of this, when you commenced this program, you had said that the urban areas and these metros are the worst hit. Perhaps the numbers and the amount of testing that is being done in the urban areas is far more as compared to the rural areas. And if you do not test, if you under test, then what you end up doing is under reporting. As some chief ministers back in the day used to do. They stopped filing FIRs in their states and said that the crime rate has significantly gone down simply because the number of FIRs has gone down. Because
Dr. Anand Ranganathan wants to come in. Yes, Dr. Anand Ranganathan wants to respond to you, Raghav Chadha. Yes, Dr. Ranganathan.
Yes, as I said, I said in the beginning, Mr. Chadha, that your government has done spectacularly well, but I am only going by the mortality number. I'm not going by, you tom-tomming these RT-PCR numbers, because I might sound like a broken record, Navika. But, in my view, these RT-PCR COVID cases are not worth the graph paper they're charted on. They are a function of the number of tests done, and besides, they miss out on potentially millions who had COVID but recovered. Take Gujarat, for example. And then I'll come to Delhi. 425 deaths and 7,000 cases means the death rate is 6% worryingly high, leading to panic. But you mean to tell me that a heavily industrialized, internationally connected, largely urban state of 65 million people with high population density metros has only 7,000 cases? Really? Now what if the cases were not 7,000 but 70,000 or 700,000? That would make the death rate 0.06%, less than seasonal flu. Same is the case for Delhi, population of 26 million with only 6,000 cases. That's nonsensical, because the virus has been circulating now for 3 months and Delhi was where the first super spreader began. So please let us not go by the number of RT-PCR tests. Let us go by the mortality number, and there I do agree with Mr. Chadha. Delhi has done spectacularly well. Congratulations.
Raghav Chadha, respond before I go to Gaurav Bhatia.
No, I don't wish to get into a back and forth with anybody, Navika. This is a very serious topic. I have not once said on your channel that we have sufficiently tested or we have achieved the numbers that we wish to achieve as far as the city of Delhi is concerned. But all I was trying to say is that if you compare the level of testing in Delhi with the level of testing done in other states, you will come to the conclusion that the per million testing done in Delhi is the highest in the country. And we wish to increase this number from 2,400 per million to perhaps 5,000 per million, perhaps 15,000 per million. So we are ramping up our infrastructure, our testing capacities, getting more RT-PCR tests, so on and so forth. So we are building that. All I'm trying to say is that we are moving in that direction. And despite being the highest testing state, we have limited the number of mortalities because the focus simply is on limiting the number of deaths and not on testing or on any other aspect. It is only and only about saving lives, and I think that is the mantra that every other state should also follow.
Well, Gaurav Bhatia and MC Abbas, I'm coming to you, MC Abbas. Gaurav Bhatia, I want to come back to you on the point of the propaganda. Is this propaganda that's causing the kind of discrepancies that people are looking at, the BJP targeting both Uddhav Thackeray and Mamata Banerjee? Because KCR appears before them, Palanisamy appears before them. That they don't seem to have a problem with, even with Kejriwal, but they have a problem with Mamata Banerjee and Uddhav Thackeray being set behind because you are targeting them. That's the charge.
See, Navika, for them it is more important to hate Mr. Modi rather than to fight being one with the country. And there is a very important revelation even in the survey that you've done. And I want to point out that generally it is expected that a chief minister of a state would have a higher approval rating. But your survey reveals that even in these 6 metros, the approval rating of Narendra Modi ji is even higher than the chief minister of the state or union territory. Then what does it show? It shows exemplary leadership of Narendra Modi ji. It shows that he was decisive. It shows that the BJP government rose above party politics and extended all support to the various states. And the best example for that is that the testing kits that were provided to various states could have been given to the BJP-ruled states also, depending on the population of the state. But no, Maharashtra, Delhi and other states were provided more testing kits so that they can conduct heavier testing because there were more cases.
Well,
This
so
itself
MC
shows
Abbas, the approval ratings of the Prime Minister in the metros does show that he is popular. While I won't go as far as Gaurav Bhatia, because this approval rating could be for the Prime Minister as the Prime Minister rather than as the Chief Minister. But the fact is that people in the metros do trust him.
Navika ji, also as a matter of fact is that BJP spokesperson Mr. Gaurav Bhatia is taking these surveys too seriously. Gentlemen, this is only 600, this is not 6 crore people who've been tested. I think Modi ji needs to, Your Highness Modi ji needs to excel in terms of migrant labours, in terms of testing and lots more. So romanticizing the Prime Minister is not going to help. Exemplary leadership along with that.
You didn't take any survey seriously, but Mahesh Jethmalani, I'm running out of time. Mahesh Jethmalani wants to come in. Yes, Mr. Jethmalani.
Navika, just one thing. So far as the Prime Minister's performance is concerned, it is exemplary, and nobody should castigate or undermine what he has done. He has come in for world praise. It's already been pointed out by both Mr. Ranganathan and by Dr. Ranganathan and by Gaurav Bhatia. He has come in for praise for the whole world, and from who, as we know, until recently was cozy with China and has been accused recently of being, and yet they came out and they praised India for its efforts. Don't forget, we're the first country to have a complete lockdown since 25th. We're the first country to have banned international flights, and we're the first country to have banned domestic flights as well, as one of the earliest to do so. Apart from that, we've had rescue missions, the world abroad, going on till today. We have people now from the UAE, we are picking up. We've started doing it from China. So the Prime Minister let the whole nation unite and say at least that the Prime Minister has done a wonderful, exemplary job for which he has come for fulsome praise from the whole world. Now, of course, each state has its own problems. Each state has its own problems, and there's bound to be some underperformances. Let's hope those states who are showing higher death rates and higher infection rates can improve their performance. That should be the national view instead of, castigating one chief minister and not the other.
Absolutely agree with you. Ladies and gentlemen, all the chief ministers in these metros have got the votes depending on the trust people in that city have for their chief minister's handling of the situation in the state. If Arvind Kejriwal is the #1 chief minister, it is because his performance has been trusted by the people of Delhi. If on #2 there is B.S. Yediyurappa, it is because in Bengaluru, the numbers are there for you to see. In Bengaluru, there are only 169 cases, and in the whole of Karnataka, below 2,000 cases, and that's why the state, with that kind of a tract of land, has performed well. And then you see KCR, then you see Tamil Nadu, which has had a bad run over the last 4 or 5 days. And this survey, the responses came in about a week ago. So maybe it hasn't factored that in yet. But the fact of the matter is Tamil Nadu was fairly comfortable. But the big takeaway is, yes, Maharashtra has a problem. Are we blaming the political leadership? No, we are not. All we are saying at this point in time is that people in these states, in these metros, in Mumbai and in Kolkata are worried. Are their governments doing enough? Do they have the situation under control? That's the question people in these states are asking. As far as Mumbai and Maharashtra are concerned, well, they also determine the economic growth and success of the entire country. So it is important, and everybody in the country is going to be worried about those states. And as far as West Bengal is concerned, the trust factor, that's where it boils down to. People are worried that these may not be the real numbers. At least that is the sense I, as a political journalist, get. Do we need to ramp up testing? Do we need to work together at this point to beat COVID? Because in COVID times, Modi can't be the enemy for Mamata Banerjee. it will have to be COVID-19 as the number one enemy. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much to my panelists for joining me on debate number 1. The big takeaway is Prime Minister Modi is more popular today than he was even at the peak of the elections in 2019. And the Prime Minister has been declared the popular, strong leader that the world has acknowledged. Going across to story number 2 and debate number 2 on the other.